Very good morning to students. Welcome to the online class. Today we are going to learn in the part of the environmental laws, the Forest Act and also the Forest Conservation Act. The Forest Act, here you will mention is the Indian Forest Act 1927. This is before Independence Day, where the act will be coming in force in the British government. Those days, I think more than 160 years before the act, there will be a lot of educationists came in the Rajasthan area to protecting of the trees. In those days, the British government is introducing this act in their government, Indian Forest Act in 1927. This is the prime thing. Later on also, we know the well-known thing, the Chipko movement. The Sundarlal Bahuguna is a ecologist. The more priority given the tree important in our concepts to improving those days. So based on that, the Conservation Act as well as the Forest Act will come into the force. Basically in the Forest Act 1927, there will be silent features are there. You can observe here there is a preliminaries, chapter 1, and also the reserved forest is one name is mentioned clearly here, chapter 2 in 1927 itself, and another is chapter 3, the villager forest. Here is observe that this in preliminary itself is they clearly mention dwellers. The dwellers means those things live the particular place, whether it may be human, it may be animal. This called as the dwellers. They have separate rights as per this act. So that you think that the dweller is the word is the most prior important. The dwellers are belong to the man, also animals. Those are living in a particular place in years together. That means they given the preliminary report. And reserved forest is mentioned, and all villager forest. The villagers forest is a very important. Those who are in local people can be live on the forest, like you using as a fuel as well as the food. Getting the fooding from the depending on, they call it the villagers forest. And coming to the other protected forest, here also they specifically mentioned the need of the protection because their endangered species will be living in the particular area. Then for virtue they will be protected forest. Like example in the Kolleri is also is coming to that part. For example, I can give it. And chapter 4 of the control over the forest and lands. The control over the forest and lands. So they required that some laws will be imposed here, the controlling techniques, and which are being not the property of the government. It belongs to the other than government land. You have to protect them. Some duty of the timber. There is the most of the forest utilized for the purpose of the human only. Because our civilization is improving day by day, we require the sophisticated living things, that is the making of the furnitures, utilization of the artful houses. They require the more. Those are they think that the timbering, the timber duty, they will be explained here. The forest producers, and also the from control of the not only that timbers you have to control. They've identified some specific species, the teak and jitrake, some nomenclatures are there. So they identified some controlling of the particular trees. So that is also given here. And in chapter 8 is also controlling of the drift and standards of timbers. They are mentioned here. And also there is a most important thing in 9th one, penalty procedures. You know, the unFNC things are any unwanted illegal activities, they have to punish by the under this act. And also cattle. More of the forest will be deteriorated due to the cattle. There will be cattle protection is also here even for preventing of the forest trees. And chapter of the forest offences is including. And also chapter 12, subsidiary rules, and also chapter 13 will be miscellaneous. Overall, in 13 chapters devoted to the complete protection of the forest in a different manners. This is a old one. Recently, that means 1980, there will be another amendments are came because of the 1980s. The most of India is going to industrialization. So the requirement of the particularly mining is also most priority because our mines is most of the forest areas. So means our resources will be available in the forest areas. So reserved forest, how to convert it to non-forest purpose. So that is a big challenge. Those times some conservations act that mentioned the Forest Conservation Act. Here there will be the silent features are 5 to 7 silent features I was mentioned here. There is a short title, it's a right side and the commitment of the Forest Conservation Act, and the restrictions on the de-reservations of a forest and use of the forest land for non-forest purpose. So he had specific mention they have not a state government, any state government have the right to conversion the reserve forest into non-forest. They require the central government have to intervene in these situations. Here is a mention the procedures and that thing. Constitution of the advisory committees for the protection of conservations. We well know that the constitution of the advisory to protection of conservations, there will be a lot of schemes going on. Recently, Vanamahotsvam is there those days. Now we are utilizing the that Harita Haram, just like more of trees will be planted. These are under the conservations of our forest lands, and penalties there, offences there, power to make the rules, repeating and savings of the nations. And generally, the conservations of the Forest Act and the converting to non-forest, particularly some guidelines are there. That means where the industry forest land will be demolished or deforested, the same land forest area, that double that area will be developed in some areas. So such rules or makes will be all covered in the most of our EC environmental clearance is a major problem is a forest conservation. So we have to more thorough in knowledge in that one, so that we can submit different EC clearance that area. So I hope you can understand the both environmental forest act and also conservation as a factor. From this one, the most of our environmental laws are completed. Next class is nearly the how to EC environmental clearance we will be getting. I hope that you can understand this class. Thank you.